Hello and welcome to RingCentral Connect and this fireside chat. I'm Chris Holt from the RingCentral Solutions Engineering team and I'll be your host for the next half an hour. I'm excited to be joined today by Richard Sage, who is the Chief Technology and Innovation Officer at Original Cottages. Today we're going to talk about how Original Cottages support, engage and inspire their way to happier customers with omni-channel contact centre. Richard, to help set the scene, could you first introduce yourself and your company?
Original Cottage Company is the largest independent family-owned cottage agency in the UK. So we're a family of brands operating locally across holiday destinations ranging from Cornwall down in the southwest up to Northumbria in the northeast. We let approximately 5,000 cottages on behalf of our owners as part of a fully managed service and employ around 400 people who live and work in the areas in which we operate. In terms of me, so I'm the Chief Technology and Innovation Officer. I joined the Original Cottage Company just over 2 years ago. My background is in IT development, operations, architecture, management and consulting. And my remit at the Original Cottage Company covers technology, digital, product, projects, data and innovation. I sort of see my role as leading a team that uses technology to transform the Original Cottage Company from both a customer experience and an operating model perspective.
So quite the remit there. When you first joined Original Cottages, what did the customer experience look like to your customers and also, I guess, within your contact centres?
If I were to sum it up in a word, I'd say suboptimal. So a number of our guest journeys would often end up hitting our customer support team or our local brand guest support teams in scenarios where talking to someone doesn't add to the customer experience, mainly because we hadn't optimized our digital journeys for our customers. For example, the booking journey, there were a large number of small edge cases that would often drive guests to have to ring us. And then when our guests were contacting us by phone, we didn't have a reliable or functional platform to help our agents give them the best experience. So this was partly down to basics such as, actually we had really bad uptime for our contact center platform previously, but it also included stuff like a lack of functionality, lack of real-time reporting, a lack of good reporting in general, and constraints around sort of integrations that we would be able to achieve with our other systems. So to sum up, so when I joined, we were often making our guests have to call us by not designing and delivering an effective journey, and then not making it easy for our people to deliver a good experience when they were contacting us via phone.
And with the introduction of RingCentral Contact Centre to Original Cottages, what did that allow you to improve and change?
Before we implemented what we wanted in terms of our sort of shopping list was a cloud-based system, a system that enabled a distributed and very mobile workforce that could integrate into our existing application landscape and also give us the insight and tools that we needed to be flexible and refine and iterate on our contact and operating model. And as a sort of an additional bonus, provide a common, rock solid, unified comms capability for our distributed workforce. So I feel like we've achieved that with RingCentral. So we now are on a much more stable platform that is flexible to our needs, that's enabled us to react really well to the current pandemic situation, and also I believe will continue to serve us well as we continue to grow as a business and also evolve how we service our customers and how we fundamentally operate our business in the future. So, for example, our reporting now gives us a better view of demand across our whole business, and we've been able to very quickly make tweaks to improve our service. So during the pandemic, we've been very flexible in terms of with our systems and our skills. So we've moved people between skills, created overflows, and to be able to get to calls that previously we wouldn't have been able to get to. And we've also sort of blended skills and campaigns to meet our demand and sort of balance our SLAs as our demand changed, pretty much day to day over the last year. And then we've also been able to do stuff around demand mitigation strategies, for example, implementing an automated IVR payments, which tick two boxes, helped take some demand away from our people, but also improve actually three boxes, helped take away demand from our people, helped improve the customer experience, and also helped improve our PCI compliance position as well. So, and then finally, we've made really heavy use of the sort of the UC side of RingCentral to help keep our people together. That they were already a distributed workforce because we are, we operate in our local areas, and then obviously we were even more distributed during the pandemic when everyone went and worked from home. And then I guess finally, the stats that we get from RingCentral have really helped us identify areas for both operating model changes, but also opportunities for further digitization as well.
You've introduced all of this new technology to the business. The business is starting to get to know it. Everyone's adapting, and then along comes the pandemic, changing the game completely for you. I'm guessing day one was never your final position for contact center, and that you had a whole list of ideas and strategies that you wanted to introduce, but I assume you had to push aside immediately.
Yeah, I mean, we had a sort of long list of stuff that we would want to do immediately after sort of bedding in the original implementation. So stuff around adding call recording to help with training and QA, or looking further into our analytics and what other insights we could gain, deeper integration with our in-house booking and CRM platform. So, stuff like doing more intelligent routing to potentially, for example, route our homeowners to the right account manager seamlessly, and also stuff around improving our sort of channel management. So, for example, reviewing whether we're going to consolidate some of the systems we use to manage some of our channels. So live chat would have been an example. All those things that we had on our to-do list for 2020 pretty much were put on hold, as we just had to reorganize ourselves and reorientate ourselves towards dealing with and providing an effective response to COVID.
So I guess suddenly your strategic view turns to a reactive view of how to best serve both your customers and, in IT's case, your internal customers. What were the key differences in traffic compared to before the pandemic?
Yeah, sort of night and day, really. So, the various lockdowns and coming out of lockdowns, and in between those big events, the literal sort of hundreds of different permutations of changes in policy between England, Wales and Scotland, meant we were our demand constantly fluctuated. So when I sort of think about that time, in my mind, I'm almost imagining like a balloon of demand that's just every day getting squeezed in different areas. So, getting squeezed in one area and then it balloons in another. And what that meant for us is the forms of demand that were traditionally very forecastable, for example, seasonal peaks in bookings or stays, just went out of the window, and things that were traditionally people scale problems just went beyond that. So at different points, we'd seen demand that we'd never seen before for cancellations, transfers, refunds, vouchers, and then at other points, absolutely record days for bookings. So we did a lot of work to very quickly try and implement and improve our digital processes, because they were just beyond a problem that we could throw people at, and moved a lot of our those key journeys that I mentioned, cancellations, refunds, transfers, vouchers, online to help take demand away from our people internally, but also help deliver a better experience to our customers.
So now we're a year into the distributed working model. How have you managed to maintain employee morale and keep everyone engaged?
As a family business, we are very people focused. It's the most people focused business that I've ever worked at. So a lot of the work that we already did around well-being, around supporting each other as colleagues and friends, and also coaching, those have just continued. They've just had to adapt to a remote basis. But having said that, it's not a solved problem. That there is absolutely more we can do. In general, our people have reacted really well to going remote, and they did so within a sort of 24-hour period. And we were very fortunate that technically this was very easy for us because of some of the decisions we made before COVID. So we wouldn't have been able to run an effective remote contact center pre-RingCentral, for example, which would have been a disaster. And then we've also happened to use RingCentral for a lot of the non-work stuff, the sort of social, keeping some sort of social connectivity, whether that's running quizzes, having drinks. We recently did a scavenger hunt remotely, and even using the whiteboard functionality on RingCentral to do a remote Pictionary game with the team. So there's loads of those countless things that different teams and departments have done, and to try and sort of maintain some sort of social fabric within the organisation.
So everything you're doing there to keep the employee experience engaging, keep everyone feeling like they're part of a family business, that bodes well for the expected return to normality in the second half of 2021. What does your strategic view look like in terms of the original Cottages customer experience? And has your employee community suggested improvements that hadn't necessarily been on your radar previously?
Yeah, I think our employee community is always suggesting improvements. I think one of the many things that COVID has helped us do is challenge our assumptions about what we can do as a business, what we can achieve as individuals and teams, and also what our customers will accept and expect as well. So we've already made changes recently to our operating model that were influenced directly from our learnings of how we can operate during the pandemic, and also informed by what we've learned from the stats that we've got from RingCentral. So strategically, there is a sort of renewed focus on continuing to improve our guest and homeowner digital experience, and ensuring that when they do interact with our people, that we've given our people the best tools and the right information to deliver a great experience.
So it's going to be another busy year by the sounds of it, especially with everyone, myself included, looking to get a holiday booked. How can you capitalise on that demand and delight your customers and have them returning to original cottages and brands for future vacations?
I think we're very cognizant of the fact that actually there are going to be some people booking with us that maybe actually staying in the UK in a self-catering cottage is not something they've even thought about before. So there's a whole new sort of I guess demographics not the right word, but a whole new group of people that will be staying with us, and there's a real opportunity there for us to delight them. I guess how we want to do that. I guess there's a what and a why there. So the what is in terms of we're just going to continue focusing on the guest experience. So throughout their journey, whether they're looking at the early stage of looking at their properties or they're arriving on that first day, and then the second one, which is sort of related to the what, is the why. And I think we're very different. We see ourselves as very different from a lot of our competitors. Our people live in and work in and love the communities where our holiday cottages are, and we are part of those communities, and that brings a level of care and knowledge and insight that we can give to our customers. And I guess the challenge for us and for me is about how we can sort of surface that to our customers to enhance their holidays, so they can make great memories and continue to do that in a way that is personalised at scale as we continue to grow.
Richard, thank you very much for that, and walking us through how original cottages have adapted over the past year to not only provide a happy customer experience, but also a happy employee experience. We'd like to thank you for joining us for this session, and we hope that you found it interesting and informative. RingCentral would like to be part of your transformation, so please don't hesitate to make contact with us at ringcentral.co.uk. Thank you very much.